Coach Shinnick Show. Will Kennedy along with UWF head football coach Pete Shinnick. We're home. Good to be home again. Blue Wahoo Stadium, the friendly confines. They were very friendly. 69-0, the final score over Virginia Lynchburg. We talked about it last week on the show. Going on the road, then coming home and getting to play in front of this home crowd, it really brings it all together.
It does. Great energy tonight, great crowd, the white out, the T-shirts out there. It was just a fun atmosphere to be a part of, and really pleased with how our guys were able to make things happen.
We kind of talked about you never know quite what you're going to get when you play a team like Virginia Lynchburg, and you have that mantra about playing to the best of your abilities and not really worrying so much about the opponent. Before we dive into the first and second half highlights, kind of your overview from up above this game.
Yeah, I think we went in bits and pieces offensively. Again, we scored 69 points, and our defense got a touchdown. But a lot of our points offensively, I think, were set up by great field position from our defense, and obviously not disturbed by our offensive performance by any means, but I think there's some things that we got to clean up and do. Defensively, just loved from the get-go, from the opening whistle, just how they got after it. A lot of our, we got a couple offensive guys on kickoff cover, but a lot of our defensive guys on kickoff cover, they set the tone, they were getting after it, and really, you saw a defense that I think just kept feeding off each other the entire game.
All phases of the game are really good for this one, and let's dive into the highlights a little bit. You dial it up right off the bat and go deep, and I'm going to say he was throwing into the wind, and I'm sure Austin's going to say that too.
Well, he's going to say that. I think if he would have looked to his left, he would have had a wide receiver wide open. And it's a great learning lesson, if you can learn that lesson and lose an interception and not lose the game, then you can live with it. And I think that's what happened. I think he understood what he did wrong, and we actually warned him about that earlier, saying, hey, this is what could take place. So he's got to learn and grow. He's still young. He's a redshirt freshman. I think he made up for it going forward.
Shook it off like a champ, came right back out there. Your offensive line, that veteran group, really physical, pushing off the ball. And Anthony Johnson, he looked like he was ready, and he's in that form again.
Yeah, we're really happy with how he's looking and the way he ran tonight, and really the way he ran last week as well. I think he went over 70 yards last week. I think he went somewhere 80, 90 tonight. So very happy to see him come out, get after it, and run the way we think he's capable of, and run the way we're going to need him to run to win in the Gulf South Conference.
Yeah, it's a physical league, no doubt about it. And Austin, as he did last week at Shorter, really spread the ball around nicely, uses all his weapons.
Yeah, we had a lot of different guys obviously get the ball. I think that's one of the things we've done well here. If you're going to key on somebody, we're going to find somebody else. But really opened up a lot of good opportunities for a lot of guys to touch the ball.
You guys really put on a show in the first half. 42-0 the score at halftime. You go to the locker room, you tell them just keep doing what you're doing?
Yeah, I did. I told them we were going to play 60 minutes, and I said we're not letting up. And we needed to prove that we could play a 60-minute game. And knowing that we were going to play a lot of guys in the second half, and again, I felt like our defense continually played well and just continued to get after it. And then the points in the second half, probably could have had a few more if we made some field goals there. But we were getting close, and we were getting down there and making things work.
All right, we'll dive into those second half highlights in which Coach Shinnick team scored in a wide variety of different ways. That's coming up next on the Coach Shinnick Show.
Success isn't measured by fame or fortune. It's measured by time and the amount of times you influence others to be better, to transform something small into something spectacular. Success is measured by the impact you make. What impact will you make? The University of West Florida. No limits.
You got me falling hard, sweet baby, got me falling hard for you. And still, I felt this way before, you know it's true. And still, you got me more and more. Oh, you got me falling hard.
Look at that. 5 glorious inches of Whataburger. Fresh 100% beef stacked high with melted cheese and fresh cut veggies. But what if it's too much fresh beef? Stacked too high with too much melted cheese and too many fresh cut veggies? Well, we have a 4-inch burger like a lot of other places. We just call it a junior. Good thing there's a burger made just for you. Good thing there's Whataburger.
Welcome back into the Coach Shinnick Show, breaking down the 69-0 victory over Virginia Lynchburg with Coach Pete Shinnick. You guys do come out in the second half, and you bring Austin right back in there. I know you plan and hope is to get JC in there, to get Sam in, and that happens eventually, but Austin still looks sharp, and you guys are moving the ball down the field the way you want to.
Yeah, we went down and, we hit a big play, and then I think we missed on a couple. But, we wanted to come out that first drive and just, really continue what we were doing in the end of the second quarter. And we did, and then didn't get points, and then, came back the next drive with JC. Got some points, and I think that kind of started, us off on the second half.
Feels good because I know JC was waiting for his opportunity to throw his first touchdown pass. He gets that in there tonight. And then I thought the kicking return game, we were seeing some plays, that could potentially break into big ones. There are a couple big, nice returns. Then you get a defensive touchdown.
Yeah.
And you get TJ to pick off a ball and take it all the way to the house, which I know your defense, you want. Not only do they want to force turnovers for Coach Doolin, they like to convert those to their own points.
No doubt. That was huge, and I really felt like that interception in the first half just generated a ton of energy for us. And then I felt like the block punt in the second half, that generated a lot of excitement and energy for us. So that was fun for our guys to be able to, accomplish that. You never set out and say, hey, we're gonna try to score 69 points, and that's gonna happen. But as it kept going, I just kept telling them, keep playing hard, keep getting after it.
When you put your second, third, fourth depth, because you were testing up in the booth, the levels of the
there were
roster,
some numbers there
to be able to see. I mean, obviously they want their opportunity. You can't tell them to take their foot off the gas.
They do, and I think that's it's the hard thing, when you sit there. But I mean, we wanted to get Shamari Mason some rushes. I think he went for over 70 yards.
Yeah.
He's a hard runner now. So we got him in. He ran hard. He got it done. That's fun. We put Sam Vaughn in, and he's got an opportunity. They crowd the box. He pulls and scores a touchdown. I'm not going to tell Sam not to score. I'm not going to tell him to take a knee. And when you're doing that all with 5-6 minutes to go, it isn't like we're throwing bombs and doing things. You're sitting there going, okay, what do we got to do to stay in this? And then we ended up scoring a few times.
Sam coming off Tommy John surgery and really got back so quickly. I know that the team was very excited, very happy to see him come up with that. Let's talk about the kicking a little bit. You put Alex in, you bring a kid in, young kid, and he converts his field goal and really strong on some extra points too.
Yeah, gave him the chance to get the field goal. He handled that. I felt like, Austin missed the long one. We got to practice something that Nick Saban probably wishes he would have practiced at some point in time. And then Austin came back and made the one. I felt like we were clicking. He missed the next one, and I was like, okay, we got to see if somebody else can kick in a game. And happy for Alex, and we'll continue to develop that and see where it goes.
Always good as a coach to feel like when you got the chance to play all these guys tonight, and that's wonderful to go back, and the assistant coaches like it too. These guys have been working hard in practice.
Well, they are, and I, again, like you say, you don't ever plan on saying, hey, we're going to score this many points, but you put a guy in and it's his only time playing. I'm not going to tell him not to block somebody. I'm not going to tell him not to go try to tackle somebody. We force the turnover right here, and our guys are going to play hard.
Every time. All right, Coach, coming up a little bit later in the show, we're going to talk with you about Mississippi College coming in next week in a big GSC matchup after a pretty crazy week in the GSC as well. And coming up next, we're going to talk with Chandler Ferguson, your linebacker, one of your key defenders.
Yeah.
That's next on the Coach Shinnick Show.
You can't stop it. That undeniable charge. So bright, so loud. It rips through the clutches of mediocrity. It breaks down walls, blazes past old ways of thinking. It's creativity, pure electric energy. What will you do with it? The University of West Florida. No limits.
What does Argos Spirit look like? Is it finding the perfect Argo outfit to show your team pride? Is it giving back while getting your pre-game grub? Or is it connecting with your community in the perfect spot? At Penn Air Federal Credit Union, it's being a proud sponsor of UWF Education, the Alumni Association, athletics, Penn Air Field, and having a spirit of communerosity. Learn more at pennair.org/aboutus.
For those who measure success by the worn tread on their tires, and those who strengthen their body and mind and drift through their weekends over nature's current. Andrews Institute, for those who move.
What's even better than going to a UWF football game? Going with all your friends. Decks are available for groups between 25 and 200 people. All group decks come with a UWF football game ticket, food, and soft drinks. It's great for company outings, group functions, birthday parties, and youth groups. Prices start as low as $25 per person. Call 850-474-2746 for more information or to book your deck today. We welcome you back into the Coach Shinnick Show. We are joined now by linebacker Chandler Ferguson, who you were telling me you've had a little bit of a journey to get here, definitely. And kind of walk us through. You didn't really get a chance to unpack your bags too often.
Oh yeah, not really. So out of high school, I signed at Florida Atlantic FAU down in Boca Raton. I redshirted my freshman year. Played there through the spring. I played spring. Ended up transferring to Southwest Mississippi. Went there, played there. Left there during the spring, then ended up going to Tyler Junior College last fall. Ended up playing there, loving it, and now I'm here.
Found a home here, you feel like?
Yeah, it's definitely home.
What do you think about Pensacola in general?
I love Pensacola. Actually, I didn't really expect it to be as great as it is. Honestly, not that I didn't, I didn't think it was going to be beautiful or great or anything. It's just better than what I expected, hands down. Like, as soon as I came up here on my visit, like, I was shocked.
Beaches are nice, huh?
Yeah, beach is beautiful.
Let's talk about this program a little bit. I know, Division II, a lot of people don't really think about some of the things that this program has. You've been other places and kind of seen the facilities and those kind of things. I mean, the weight room here, the practice field, the locker room. Definitely. It's pretty exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, very exciting. And I mean, coming from those three programs, even Florida Atlantic, not to talk down on Florida Atlantic, but I mean, coming here and looking at what we have here and what the team brings and the culture here is great for me, and it's perfect for me. It's a perfect home for me.
I've talked with Coach Shinnick and Coach Doolin a little bit about this defense and the depth and the talent you guys have. And I know there's some things you guys are working to clean up after a couple games in the season. But how good can this defense be?
This defense can be great. It's not even as good. This defense can really be great, and I see that the potential in this defense is outnumbering. Like, I watch the film, even though we make mistakes. Of course, we're human, we make mistakes, but if we just clean up those little mistakes, we can be a very intimidating defense if we're not already.
You've jumped right in, put your mark on this defense. Lots of tackles, turnovers, that kind of thing. Is that the kind of player that you're aspiring to be, as a guy who can be a leader on this defense and force those big plays?
Yes, sir. That's exactly what I expect myself to do, but I still have higher standards I set for myself, so I haven't even reached that peak of what I can potentially be doing on the field.
As a linebacker, you guys like to have those big bodies in front of you to kind of keep those offensive linemen off you a little bit. You've got some horses in front of you, some hosses.
Oh yeah, definitely. We got some big guys up front that can move one or two offensive linemen. So yeah.
Sometimes hard to see around them.
Yeah, but it's all good though. We can work through that.
What are you studying here at UWF?
Graphic design.
What do you want to do? Kind of beyond football eventually.
I've done some work myself back at home, like making cover art for some local music artists, little side jobs like that. But other than graphic design, I want to be a fireman. So
creative side and the physical side kind of mixing together for Chandler.
Yeah, because as a fireman, of course, you work 1 out of 3 days, and those 2 days I like to be working on that graphic design stuff. It's almost like a little side hustle I got going on.
So when you're getting ready for a game, or when you're on those road trips, with the football team, like you guys have had 2 to start the season, what's on your playlist? What are you listening to? What do you use to get fired up?
I listen to a lot of things, but I listen to as far as artists, I listen to, let's say, some Lil Durk. I listen to Kodak. I'll listen to it's pretty much everything. Honestly, it just depends on the mood, how I'm feeling, how my week went. And most likely what I like to do, I like to listen to music like a certain, like let's say a certain artist or different songs throughout the week. Whatever song I'm listening throughout the week, that's the songs I'm listening to on game day because it kind of takes me back to everything I prepared myself for up to this game. So I like to, you know, bring that back just to let myself know this is what you went through this whole week. So let's just make it count.
And last thing for Chandler Ferguson, you know, I think this reveals a lot about a guy. When you're on a trip and we stop to get a snack, what do you grab?
What am I grabbing? Honestly, I'm not a big, huge eater on the way, you know, to a game. I like to try to stay light a little bit, but I definitely got to get some granola bars and some gummy bears. That's a got to.
I like
and
that.
a Pedialyte.
Mix those together, make it happen.
Yeah, I got to.
All right, thank you, Chandler. Coming up next here on the Coach Shinnick Show, we're going to dive into some of the other fall sports that are in action. Keep watching.
Success isn't measured by fame or fortune. It's measured by time and the amount of times you influence others to be better, to transform something small into something spectacular. Success is measured by the impact you make. What impact will you make? The University of West Florida. No limits.
You got me falling hard, sweet baby. You got me falling hard for you. And still, I felt this way before. You know it's true. And still, you got me more and more. Oh, you got me falling hard.
Hey, who are you?
Oh, hey, Jeff, I'm a car thief.
What?
I'm here to steal your car because, well, that's my job.
What?
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 It happens. So get all state. I'd be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Mayhem is everywhere, so get an Allstate agent. In Pensacola, call Melissa Keener.
Look at that. 5 glorious inches of Whataburger. Fresh 100% beef stacked high with melted cheese and fresh cut veggies. But what if it's too much fresh beef? Stacked too high with too much melted cheese and too many fresh cut veggies? Well, we have a 4-inch burger like a lot of other places. We just call it a junior. Good thing there's a burger made just for you. Good thing there's Whataburger.
Welcome back into the Coach Shinnick Show. We're inside the University of West Florida Fieldhouse, part of where the fall sports activity is going on for those sports that are in season outside of football. We'll start with men's soccer. On the road last week, over across state lines, they take on Spring Hill. This is a good matchup. Number 18 in the country against number 24 in the country. And it would be a good game as well. It would be the two Brits, Jerry Wiltshire and Ed Chappie, providing the goals. Chappie with an assist on the first goal of the game to Wiltshire. Spring Hill would come back and equalize this thing, and then in the 81st minute, Ed Chappie gets it done. 2-1 the final. Argos now 4-0 on the season. They will be at Christian Brothers in Memphis, Tennessee on Friday. It's the GSC opener, and then at Union up in Jackson, Tennessee on Sunday. The women's soccer team in the friendly confines of the soccer complex here on the UWF campus on Sunday, hosting St. Leo. This would be a pretty good game as well. Anita Daniels-Doder with the only goal of the game on an assist from Celine Rumpf. That would prove to be all they needed. The third shutout of the season for Stephanie Barreras. They get the 1-0 win. The number 17 team in the country, those Argos, coming at it. And we caught up with Coach Joe Bartlinski and the goal scorer after the match. Coach Barr's team now 3-1 in the season. They will be along for the ride with the men up in Tennessee for those matches at Christian Brothers and at Union this weekend. Busy times for the UWF volleyball program. The Argos on the road up in Aiken, South Carolina for another tournament early in the season. They win 3 of 4 up there. They're 7-5 now on the season. Lots of activity in this one. Jordan Poppin with 48 kills in the 4 matches. And Vareja Yan, who was the GSC Freshman of the Week last week, 40 kills herself to go with 10 blocks. The Argos back at home this week. They open GSC play early in the week. Alabama Huntsville comes into the field house right here, the only team to beat Coach Melissa Walters' team last year in conference play. And then busy weekend, Friday and Saturday, it is Mississippi College and West Alabama coming in here to the field house for 2 GSC matches. If you were up early last Saturday, the men's and women's cross country teams were hosting a rare meet here on the campus of the University of West Florida. In fact, the first time in about 15 years that has happened, and it was a good opportunity to test the trails out here. The host team getting some stuff done. Micah Kemp finishing 4th, Haley Middleton finishing 5th in a matchup against Harding on the trails at UWF, and then Valeria Villatoro finished 2nd. Alyssa Langston finished 5th in the women's meet against Harding and Pensacola State College. After the meet, we caught up with Coach Caleb Carmichael to talk about the event, but also the future of cross country on campus.
Obviously, our course is very challenging, so times are really kind of thrown out the door. But it's finally good to see people on the course and on campus and cross country back on the campus again. It's pretty awesome. I mean, so talking to the coaches, they enjoyed it. I mean, it's different. Most races you go to are flat, fast, on the grass, surface, boring for the runners, but obviously spectator friendly. What we have here is a course where maybe the spectators don't get to watch so much, but the course is very enjoyable for runners. It's challenging, it's different, and I think that's what's going to be enticing about our race. And I think that the coaches are going to spread the word, and hopefully we'll get a lot more teams next year.
Both cross-country teams will be up in Louisville, Kentucky next for the Louisville Cross Country Invitational. That is October 5th. Both the men's and women's golf teams are in their fall seasons, out on the road early playing some tournaments, looking for some early success in the fall. And then the tennis programs, men and women, will be at home here on campus this weekend, hosting the South Regional Championships for the ITA at the Ralph Skeeter Carson Tennis Complex. Look for that to start on Friday and run through the weekend. And also swimming and diving in action, a 4-team meet in the natatorium, just a little ways from here, a short backstroke away. That goes on this weekend as well. We'll update you on all the fall sports activities next week right here on the show. As we said earlier, a ton going on right here on campus as far as fall sports are concerned. Coming up next, we preview the matchup against Mississippi College this weekend. Coach Shinnick will be back. You're watching the Coach Pete Shinnick Show.
You can't stop it. That undeniable charge. A thunderous spark. So bright, so loud. It cuts through clutter, rips through the clutches of mediocrity. It breaks down walls, tears down barriers, and blazes past old ways of thinking. It demands to be seen, heard, and understood. It's creativity. Pure electric energy. What will you do with it? The University of West Florida. No limits.
For those who measure success by the worn tread on their tires, and those who strengthen their body and mind and drift through their weekends over nature's current. Andrews Institute, for those who move.
What does Argo Spirit look like? Is it finding the perfect Argo outfit to show your team pride? Is it giving back while getting your pre-game grub? Or is it connecting with your community in the perfect spot? At Penn Air Federal Credit Union, it's being a proud sponsor of UWF Education, the Alumni Association, athletics, Penn Air Field, and having a spirit of communerosity. Learn more at pennair.org/aboutus.
Welcome back into the Coach Shinnick Show. Time to talk about the next matchup at home. Again, we were mentioning 3 straight weeks at home, which is a wonderful thing. Mississippi College comes in, so back into GSC play this week. Last year, you go over to Clinton, Mississippi, rain and lightning delay, game is postponed a little while, and it ended up being a pretty good ball game, but one you led throughout, but they present some challenges.
They do, and I think both sides of the ball, they create some issues for any type of team. Number one, they run the option on offense. We saw that against Carson Newman, but this is a completely different version of the option, more of a pure triple option type team. And then defensively, they go multiple fronts, blitz from different places. Last year's game, as you said, we had the delay. Always felt like they were very, very close, and we were fortunate to get out with a victory.
You led throughout that one, a 34-21 win, scored on 2 of the first 3 possessions in the game. Thinking back, Sam Vaughn had a fantastic game last year. Your 3rd-string quarterback this year threw for 380 yards and 3 touchdowns in that ball game. That speaks to the depth that we've touched on several times at QB.
Well, and we talked about that. I mean, to have Sam Vaughn as your 3rd-string quarterback, you got to have something going on, well with 1 and 2. And again, Sam Vaughn last year, 100% healthy prior to the injury, a little different. But as we talked about, in the first couple segments, Sam got the touchdown. Excited about that for him. Now we come into this game with really a different approach. Austin, I think, has got to continue to grow and continue to learn from, the things that are going to help him be the player that we want him to be.
Their quarterback, Demetric Hawthorne, number 8, fans will remember him from last year. He is 5'8", 170. The guy ran for over 100 yards last year, threw for about 170, but they were effective. He wasn't really accurate, but he's that kind of guy. If he gets out of the pocket and scrambles around, he can make it life difficult for the defense.
Very electric, very dynamic. He's voted all-conference utility player, and really that's just a compliment to him because of what type of problems he presents for you. He's elusive. You got to contain him. You got to hold on to him because if you don't, we saw it last year, he'll throw the ball up there and see what happens.
He's the kind of guy that's cutting into defensive coordinator Darian Doolin's sleep, right?
No doubt. How to keep people in front of him so that he's not running loose.
Your offensive line, as we touched on in the early segments, really physical in the game against Virginia Lynchburg, getting off the ball, running the football exceptionally well with that stable of running backs. Is that something you look to continue to do against Mississippi College?
Well, we have to, and we knew going in that we would need to get better and better each week running the ball, and that would have to be a focus of what we're trying to accomplish. So we got to get better at it this week. We got to clean some things up as always, but those 5 starting offensive linemen playing well. We're trying to play about 8 linemen total up there. I think we're getting the productivity out of it, so like what we see so far.
Yeah, the Choctaws will see something different at quarterback, as we mentioned. They'll also see something different defensively, especially in the waves of guys that you can throw at Hawthorne and company on their offensive side of the ball. A little more size, but also some speed. And we saw that from the linebacker position specifically against Lynchburg.
No, it really did. I think you saw guys really, play their speed on Saturday. And as we continue to get more comfortable with so many new guys over there, I'm excited about what that's going to look like. Obviously, the option, you got to be a little more under control with things, but I think the size of our D-line is going to help us. And then, as you mentioned, the speed of our linebackers is going to play into stopping that option.
Looking to go 2-0 in the Gulf South Conference, which is always easier said than done.
Oh, no doubt.
Looking forward to it. 6 o'clock kickoff with Mississippi College, Blue Wahoo Stadium. Come on out and cheer on Coach Shinnick and the guys. We'll be on the radio at 5:30 on ESPN Pensacola, and then, of course, on Cox Sports TV and your TV with a broadcast simulcast of the game. We'll see you right here next week on the Coach Shinnick Show.